Brody Jenner is coming to Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet's defense. After an influencer alleges that she had been romantically entangled with Timothée Chalamet in 2020 before his relationship with Kylie Jenner, Brody defends his youngest sister's personal life. The younger son of Caitlyn Jenner and Linda Thompson comments under a March 16th Instagram post by Page 6.
One day, after Timothée Chalamet sat in the front row of the Oscars with Kylie Jenner beside him and left without a single award, a woman gave an interview to the Daily Mail claiming she had been romantically involved with him years before Kylie came into the picture, and said she was blindsided when the relationship started. The story hit Page 6's Instagram. The internet reacted immediately, and then Kylie's older brother Brody Jenner stepped into the comments and said what apparently needed to be said. Here is exactly what happened, who said what, and what all of it actually tells us about one of the most scrutinized relationships in Hollywood right now. Everything in this video is drawn entirely from verified reporting by E! Online, Yahoo Entertainment, Hola USA, Unilad, Marie Claire UK, BuzzFeed News, Beverly Hills Today, and Page 6, all published between March 16th and March 19th, 2026. Sarah Tena's interview was originally published by the Daily Mail. All quotes are real, fully attributed, and publicly documented. We are presenting the full picture of what was said, what it means, and why it matters, fairly, factually, and without taking sides. That is the spirit in which this video is made. To understand why Brody Jenner's comment landed the way it did, you need to understand the specific timing it arrived in and the specific pressure that had been building around Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet since the moment they walked into the Dolby Theater together on Sunday, March 15th. Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet have been together since 2023. They were first romantically linked in April of that year, roughly 6 months after Chalamet's last connection with a woman named Sarah Tena had apparently gone quiet. For the better part of 2 years, they kept the relationship almost entirely private. No red carpet appearances together, no formal acknowledgments in interviews, no posed photographs. In a celebrity ecosystem where most relationships are performed for the camera before they are barely off the ground, the deliberate quiet of their romance was itself a kind of statement. That changed gradually and then all at once. The couple made their official red carpet debut in May 2025. After that, Kylie became a fixture at the awards season circuit, attending the Golden Globes, the BAFTAs, and the Oscars in direct support of her partner's campaign for Best Actor. When Chalamet accepted the Best Actor award at the Critics' Choice Awards in January, he gave her a rare and public shout-out saying, "Lastly, I'll just say thank you to my partner of 3 years. Thank you for our foundation. I love you. I couldn't do this without you." That statement, 3 years foundation love, was not throwaway. It was deliberate. It told the industry and anyone watching that whatever they had been speculating about this relationship, the people inside it were treating it as something real and serious. And then Sunday night happened. The Oscars ceremony was, for Chalamet personally, a difficult evening by any honest account. Conan O'Brien making him the recurring punchline of the monologue, Misty Copeland dancing on stage in direct response to his ballet comments, 9 nominations turning into 0 wins, Michael B. Jordan walking to the podium instead. Through all of it, Kylie was beside him. Cameras caught moments between them throughout the night. At the Vanity Fair party afterward, their closeness was unmistakable, with Chalamet wrapping his arms around Kylie's waist and adjusting her dress for the cameras. Those images circulated immediately. The commentary that followed was not universally warm. Questions about whether the relationship was genuine, whether her presence had helped or hurt his chances with certain voters, whether the whole thing was carefully managed rather than authentically felt. All of those conversations resurfaced with fresh intensity the morning after the ceremony. Into that specific moment, on Monday, March 16th, Page 6 posted an interview on Instagram. The subject was Sarah Tena, a 32-year-old former adult content creator who told the Daily Mail that she had been romantically involved with Timothée Chalamet starting in January 2020. According to Tena, she and Chalamet first connected via Instagram after she messaged him following his performance in Netflix's The King. She described meeting him in Santa Monica, going on sporadic dates over the following years, developing genuine feelings, and eventually telling him directly how she felt. She said, "I was in love with Timothée, yeah. I had finally expressed how I felt, and I let him know that I had feelings for him, and he did too. We both did." The timeline Tena described places the final contact between them at January 2023, when she said she sent him a happy birthday message and received only a like in response. 3 weeks later, he was seen with Jenner in public, and by April, they were officially dating. Tena told the Daily Mail she was shocked. She said she saw reports about him dating Kylie Jenner and was very confused, initially thinking it was fake news and then wondering if it was a PR arrangement. She described the handling as disrespectful, but also said she missed him and had not expected their contact to simply stop given the friendship they had built. It is important to be precise about what Tena claimed and what she did not claim. She did not allege that the relationship was exclusive. She described it specifically as non-exclusive and sporadic. She did not allege any misconduct. She did not allege that Chalamet had been dishonest with her about what their relationship was. What she alleged was that she had genuine feelings for him, that those feelings appeared to be mutual during the time they were in contact, and that the abruptness of the ending, one like on a birthday message, followed almost immediately by public photographs with one of the most famous women in the world, left her feeling blindsided. Her description of thinking the Kylie relationship might be a PR stunt is clearly her own interpretation of a situation she found confusing, not a verified claim about anyone's intentions. Chalamet's team did not respond to requests for comment. Kylie's team did not respond to requests for comment. The couple has rarely spoken publicly about the relationship's inner workings beyond Chalamet's Critics' Choice speech, and that pattern held. What did not hold was the silence from the Jenner family. After Page 6 shared details from the interview on Instagram, Brody Jenner, Kylie's older half-brother, weighed in directly in the comments. His words were short, direct, and immediate. He wrote, "Oh God, just leave the happy couple alone. People have lives before they meet their person. This girl is clearly doing this for attention, and everyone can see right through it." 4 sentences, no hedging, no diplomatic softening. He called it attention-seeking, said the motivation was transparent to everyone observing, and asked people to leave the couple alone. The comment was posted publicly on one of the most trafficked celebrity Instagram accounts in the world and was picked up by E! Online, Yahoo, Hola, Unilad, Marie Claire UK, and multiple other publications within hours. To understand the full weight of Brody stepping forward publicly here, you have to understand a little about who he is and what his relationship with Kylie actually looks like in practice. Brody Jenner is 42 years old. He is the son of Caitlyn Jenner and Linda Thompson, which means he shares a father with Kylie and Kendall Jenner, but grew up in a completely different household. He has spoken openly about the distance that created, telling the Vile Files podcast in January 2025. "We didn't grow up in the same household, so it's not like it's any different. I don't get to see them, but when we do see each other, it's like no time has passed." He is best known publicly from his years on The Hills, the early 2000s MTV reality series, and more recently from his podcast and fitness work. He is not a central figure in the Kardashian-Jenner media machine. He is, by his own description, someone who loves his siblings deeply but operates at a comfortable distance from the spotlight they inhabit. And yet, he has been equally consistent about one thing. "If Kylie or Kendall calls me right now," he said, "I would walk out of this room and pick up the phone and I'd be there for them." That is not a performative statement. It is the statement of someone who has defined his relationship with his half-sisters through availability rather than proximity, through loyalty rather than constant presence. When Brody shows up publicly on their behalf, it means something specific, that whatever the normal distance of their daily lives, the family bond is real. And the threshold for him to cross from private to public is genuine concern for someone he loves. What Tena's claims touched was not just Chalamet's personal history. They arrived in the middle of a week-long public conversation about whether the Kylie relationship was costing Chalamet professional standing, whether Academy voters from older generations had been put off by her association with the Kardashian-Jenner brand, whether the campaign had been shaped too heavily around that visibility, whether the relationship was being used instrumentally on one side or both. Those are the conversations that had been circulating in celebrity media in the days following the Oscars, and Tena's interview hit in that exact window. The suggestion embedded in her claim that maybe it started as a PR thing directly fed a narrative that both Chalamet and Jenner had every reason to push back against. Brody's comment did that pushing back without requiring either of them to say a word publicly. He absorbed the moment on their behalf, delivered the response directly into the comment section where the story was spreading, and did it in language that was personal rather than managed. Nobody in a communications team writes "Oh God" with a rolling eyes emoji as the opening of a crisis statement. That is a brother reading something that annoyed him and saying so out loud. The authenticity of it is precisely what gave it traction. The broader reality of Kylie and Chalamet's relationship, stripped of the speculation and the Oscars narrative, is one that multiple observers have noted reads as genuinely private in a way that is unusual for both of them individually. Kylie has been one of the most publicly visible people in American celebrity culture since she was a teenager. She built a billion-dollar cosmetics company partly on the back of that visibility, turned her personal life into content for years, and co-raised 2 children, Stormy and Aire, in the full glare of the camera. Chalamet, for his part, has never discussed his romantic life in any depth in press interviews, has declined questions about previous reported relationships, and has consistently redirected personal questions back toward his work. Together, what they seem to have arrived at is a version of public couplehood that is visible enough to be real. Red carpets together, award speeches, Vanity Fair moments, and private enough to protect whatever the actual relationship is from the daily grind of celebrity commentary. Tena's interview punctured that protective layer in a particular way, not because her account of a 2020 casual connection is especially damaging. People have histories before they meet their partners, which is Brody's entire point, but because it arrived at the precise moment when the couple was most exposed to the public scrutiny and most in need of a buffer. Brody Jenner was that buffer. Briefly, publicly, 4 sentences, no press release. And then he stepped back. Here is the honest summary of what this week actually was. A woman gave an interview about a connection she says she had with a famous man before he entered a serious relationship with someone else. The internet reacted the way the internet reacts. Amplification first, context later. The man's girlfriend's brother read the story on his phone, found it irritating, and left a comment telling people to move on. And the couple at the center of it all remained quiet throughout, which is, at this point, their most consistent and deliberate choice in how they handle everything together. The relationship between Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet is, by the available evidence, 3 years old, mutually acknowledged, publicly supported by his family and hers, and sustained through one of the most intense and difficult awards seasons either of them has experienced. Whether it survives the ongoing public commentary about whether it helps or hurts his career is a question nobody outside of it can answer. Whether Sarah Tena's account is entirely accurate is something only she and Chalamet know. What Brody Jenner's comment told us is simply that when his sister needed someone in her corner in a public space, he was there, without being asked, without being briefed, and without saying anything more than what actually needed to be said. If this kind of complete, honest, source-grounded breakdown of real celebrity stories is what brings you here, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and drop a comment below. Tell me whether you think Brody handled it the right way, whether the relationship gets stronger or more complicated from here, and what you actually think about the way celebrity couples are covered when the cameras never fully turn off. I read every single comment. I will see you in the next one.